Hey now, welcome to Fitz's Electric Bar. I am doing Digital Gramophone's vinyl tag, Sad Bastard vinyl tag. And I feel like I am very well equipped to do this particular video. So the link below to John's channel, Digital Gramophone, one of my favorites. John's got a great sense of humor and a lot of insight and a really deep knowledge of music, and often turns me on to some really great music, or music that I come to enjoy immensely. So take a look at that, see if you're interested in doing this. I'll tell you why I feel like I am so perfectly suited to this. I remember years ago making mixtapes, in particular, well, for a lot of my male friends, but also for women that I might have been interested in. Some of them friends, some of them I might have hoped that they'd be more than friends. And I still remember one woman saying to me, "Your mixtapes are so depressing." I'm like, I thought it was just beautiful, emotional music. I didn't say that, for God's sakes. I already knew that that particular door had been shut and there was no hope. So, Sad Bastard tag, John mentions this as well. It's not meant to be flippant about people who struggle with depression or sadness. And obviously, I think a lot of us have experienced that at some point in time, so it's not hard to be empathetic. I look at this more as, and I think John has the same approach, which is looking and kind of laughing at myself sometimes when I find that I'm so drawn to sad, maudlin music, and it makes me kind of giggle to think that I'm drawn to that kind of music. So that's the spirit of which I'm doing this particular tag. Number one, an overplayed sad song. I actually don't have this in my collection, so I'm going to put that up there. This would be a band that I liked for about 10 minutes in the 70s, I guess, and maybe 15 minutes. But I'm proud to say that they're not in my collection. Being a record snob, I wouldn't want any of them, their records, touching the rest of my record collection. And that is Kansas's Dust in the Wind. I like a good existential, sad song. This is not just about my girl left me, but actually about life is short and painful and full of suffering, and then it ends too soon. So having no problem with that. Dust in the Wind, I guess, comes from that place, but it's Kansas, it's Dust in the Wind. Say no more. Number two. You're listening to an album and somebody walks in and says, "What is this sad bastard shit?" Well, I've experienced that, not quite as visceral as what is this shite, but I remember playing this artist, being completely drawn in by this artist, and my mother walking in one time and saying basically the same thing as I said earlier, "This is so depressing." And I thought, well, it's in the ear of the beholder, I guess. I find it quite powerful. And I'm talking about Mr. Tom Waits. You could pick any Tom Waits album. Maybe the first one is the most beautiful in terms of his vocal delivery. He got more and more raspy over time. And of course, later stuff, I think for many people, it just scared them. Who were not, you were either a Tom Waits fan or some of his music and arrangements and everything was a little overwhelming for people. I've really enjoyed him all the way through his career. This particular one also has the song "I Never Talk to Strangers," a Bette Midler duet, which is just fantastic and very funny. No particular song on this, just really Tom Waits will sometimes elicit, what is this depressing, what is this sad bastard shit? Number three, a sad album, but a dance party to you. Well, part of the Ditch trilogy, and one of my favorite artists would be Neil Young. Time Fades Away. This is pretty heavy. LA, City in the Fog. Don't you wish you could be there soon? Tongue firmly in cheek. And of course, the gorgeous song, Don't Be Denied. But depressing for some, dance party for me. Number four, it's a love song, but it's sad. It's one of my favorite subgenres of sad songs and subgenre of love songs. So I'm going to pick Sarah off of Desire, Bob Dylan's Desire. Why do I choose this? Well, This is after Blood on the Tracks, which is the famous dissolution of his marriage, kind of the end of the relationship, and one of the great breakup albums of all time. But Sarah is about looking back, and it's about, having a great appreciation for the mother of his children and how much he loves Sarah, and remembering his time with her and on the beach and the kids running back and forth with their pails of sand. Maybe one of them was Jacob. Just this idyllic, almost Norman Rockwell kind of thing, and realizing that relationship, that time is very much over. So, and in the song, one of the things I love is his self-referential line, which is he remembers back to singing Sad-Eyed Lady of the Lowlands for You, which was off Blonde on Blonde. So I could imagine him playing that song for Sarah before it ever appeared on a record of Bob Dylan's. Bob Dylan, Desires, the album, Sarah is the sad love song. A favorite sad lyric. This is the album. I've got it on CD, not on record, not yet anyways. Daniel Romano, Sleep Beneath the Willow. Just a gorgeous record. Very much country tinged. Welland, Ontario's Daniel Romano. Talk about him a lot on this channel. And this song, to me, could have been written by Townes Van Zandt. This just absolutely slays me. Here we go. I tend to spend my nights, and nothing in my words can help make it right. There's nothing left for me but the haunting memory of a time when I had nothing and you gave it all to me. Nothing and a wicker broom, nothing and an empty tune, nothing and I'll leave you the keys to everything, for they no longer unlock anything. I mean, Jesus. 6. I love breakup albums. In fact, somewhere way back near the beginning of my channel, I did a whole feature on breakup albums. So some of the famous ones are Frank Sinatra's In the Wee Small Hours, Bob Dylan's Blood on the Tracks, Beck's Sea Change. I'm actually going to pick another Beck song rather than an album from the album Mutations, and the track's called Nobody's Fault. Super deep melancholic song. Nobody's fault, it's nobody's fault but my own, doing a lot of self-reflection. Beck, another artist that seems to be able to cover off so many different genres very naturally, like my pal Daniel Romano. But Nobody's Fault off of Mutations, just a tremendous breakup song. Number 7, favorite Smiths song. Fits perfectly. The Smiths' whole catalog, as Mazzy rightly stated, has got a sadness to it pretty much. Lyrics of Morrissey. The track that I would normally choose, but I don't have it on vinyl, so I'm going to make this my second selection. The second selection is There Is a Light That Never Goes Out, and it includes the inimitable lines that go something like this. And if a double-decker bus crashes into us, to die by your side is such a heavenly way to die. And if a 10-ton truck kills the both of us, to die by your side, well, the pleasure, the privilege is mine. I think Morrissey's, not all doom and gloom. There's just so much, it's just so ridiculous, those lyrics, that I feel like that really belongs in the Sad Bastard Club. But as I say, because I don't have that album, The Queen is Dead, I'm going to pick this album, The Smiths. This is, I believe, their first full-length album on Rough Trade Sire Records, and the track is What Difference Does It Make? Oh. It's funny, when I was reading those lyrics, I just felt like it was hard not to put the vocal inflections that Morrissey does, and it would definitely pull the rug out from under the sadness. The Smiths, What Difference Does It Make? The saddest song by a popular band. I don't know about the necessarily the saddest, but the band I'm going to choose is the Rolling Stones. They've got lots of ones: Memory Hotel, Fool to Cry, Winter. A lot of their ballads have got a lot of sadness to it, but sticking with what I mentioned earlier on, little existential sadness and the passage of time. And I'm going to pick Time Waits for No One off of It's Only Rock and Roll. That beautiful intro that builds, and some gorgeous piano work. I don't know if it's Billy Preston or Nicky Hopkins, but Time Waits for No One. I think we all know that. Time waits for no one, and it won't wait for me. Number 9, Tears in Your Beer, a sad country song. I mean, modern country is mostly about happy, I think, compared to the old stuff, but the old days used to be real sad. I'm going to choose Graham Parsons off of Grievous Angel, and the track that always slays me is $1,000 Wedding. I don't know exactly what's going on here, but I think that there's either the bride dies or she walks out on him, and just the title, $1,000 Wedding, it just seems like probably nobody's there, and drinks are served in plastic cups, and yeah, just a killer song. Graham Parsons at its absolute best, $1,000 Wedding off of Return of the Grievous Angel. Actually, just Grievous Angel. Number 10, favorite sad soundtrack. You know, I've got actually a lot of soundtracks, and sometimes the music is somewhat sad, but the story isn't necessarily sad. And so the music might be just an interlude, but it isn't like a sad soundtrack per se, beginning to end. But a kind of harrowing and sad story in some ways. I mean, it's a story of overcoming challenges and also being challenged by that rise to fame. So Coal Miner's Daughter, Sissy Spacek in the title role, and George Jones being played by, my God, Tommy Lee Jones, yeah. And Sissy Spacek actually sings these songs, and things like I Fall to Pieces, Coal Miner's Daughter is sad, beautiful. Coal Miner's Daughter soundtrack to the movie. Number 11, I'm Only Happy When It Rains. I don't mind, and that's maybe one reason why I'm here in the Pacific Northwest, don't mind necessarily rain and the somewhat melancholy feeling that comes with it. But this album is one of my favorites, and again, when I put it on and it's raining, it makes me laugh. I remember playing it for my brother for the first time, and he just started to crack up. The beautiful voice and the orchestration on the first track on this album, Scott Walker, Scott 3, It's Raining Today. And you know, artists like Scott Walker, Richard Hawley have got that beautiful croon to it, and you know, you simultaneously get completely enveloped by the mood of the song, and at the same time you kind of giggle because it all seems almost too much. Scott 3, Scott Walker, It's Raining Today. 12, the sappiest, corniest, bullshit happy song ever. This is another one that I don't own, but I just can't stand it when I hear it. And that is Katrina and the Waves, Walking on Sunshine. It's just way too happy. And yeah, I want to shoot the lights out on that happiness. Katrina and the Waves, Walking on Sunshine, just ridiculously happy. And finally, shout out to a sad bastard to do this vinyl tag. I feel a little bit awkward about this because I don't know most of you guys in the vinyl community, and many that I do are not what I would call sad bastard material. So I'm just going to reach out to Todd at Lost Mixedtapes because he does such a good job of this kind of stuff. He did an awesome, grateful video for songs that he's grateful for that I had generated. See earlier post. And want to see whether this is something that he might get all over as well. So, Todd, you're it. Carpe diem, MFs.